Hello, my friends, and welcome. It's been an interesting week with recent developments, huge, massive shifts in our balance of power in our government, and big tech censoring, kicking off platforms. I want to talk about all of that stuff, and I really want to not only address what's going on, but give you some encouragement and a bit of a clear path forward as the way I see it, what I think our response should be. So this is where I'm at. Guys, to me, it's really not about Trump. Let me say again, this, to me, isn't about Trump at all. It's about the freedom of information. These big tech companies now control the free flow of information. If I want to know what's going on in the news, 70% of all millennials, and probably higher than that, get their news from social media. And so if social media decides this side, lefty news is good and conservative news is bad, they can literally cut you off so that you can't even see the opposition. Now they have the ability to decide who gets elected to public office, and they can literally shut down the president of the free world should they decide to. So now if media won't cover him and social media can't access him, you can't even hear from him. And I'm just saying, wow, whether you hate or love Trump, you got to say, hey, that's really dangerous stuff. Parler just got shut down because they weren't censoring people enough in the eyes of Amazon. So now they're gone. That's about $1 billion company where conservative ideas and people who really love First and Second Amendment and Constitution, that's the big deal. Guys, if you're watching and you're not a conservative, maybe you're a liberal or a Democrat, hey, you're very welcome. I actually am thrilled you're here. We don't have to agree on politics. What makes us warrior poets is we agree on a central truth, and that's we live for higher purpose and we're ready to sacrifice in the defense of others. We're also, as our ethos, warrior poets, we're freedom fighters, right? We love freedom. America's been the great experiment that was based on creating the most free nation that's ever existed, and our Constitution is what makes us Americans. It sets us apart, guaranteeing that we're able to hold on to those natural rights given by our Creator, and we're able to have free speech, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. We have freedom, right? And our Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, guarantees that if a tyrannical government rose up, wanted to consolidate and control all power, you would have the means to defend yourself so that you stayed free. That's what the Second Amendment is about. It's not about defending yourself from the boogeyman when he comes to your house at night. It's about if a tyrannical system rose up that could censor, that can control information, that could keep you from being free, what would be your recourse? It's guns. Now, a lot of you guys who are super stoked about liberty and freedom and your fellow patriots like I am very worried you're going to jump the gun wanting to resort to a physical fight when this is not time for a physical fight. This is not a physical fight time. This is a war of ideas, guys. It's a cultural war, and the left has been playing it brilliantly and very successfully for a very long time. The left owns the silver screen. Most of our media outlets, of ABC and CNN, MSNBC, and now it looks like Fox has been encroached by this. I don't know. I'm eyes wide open. I'm watching, but it doesn't look good. They also control our educational system, academia, much of our liberal arts students. As you see all the woke young college kids that don't know anything and think that they are super in the know. Holy cow, it looks really grim for a lot of folks that are just good old-fashioned patriots. I'm like, John, what are you for? I'm like, man, I'm for babies and family and freedom of speech and, you know, be a good person and protect others and love God and love your country and, you know, do good. It's like, that's what I want. And leave me alone. That's what I'm for, you know. I'm saying, guys, listen, I get that you're scared and it all looks extremely grim, but I'd remind you, we're in a war of ideas right now. And ideas are ever so much more powerful than guns. Ideas are more powerful. Words are more powerful. I remind you that the great experiment of America is built on the ideas. Our Constitution makes us Americans. We recognize we were given God-given rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And we're given guns as our Second Amendment to say if a tyrannical government ever comes to take away our freedom, you have the right to defend yourself. And so you have the right to bear arms. And that's what it is. It's the ultimate fail-safe. But you don't run there right away. If you're one of these dudes that right now sees the landscape and you're immediately ready to pick up guns and say, Viva la Revolution, I'll say, you are an idiot that's missing the picture. Are you so excited to slay your countrymen? Do you know anything about an actual grisly, violent war? Do you know what it's like to actually kill and see death beside you? You don't want that unless you absolutely have to. And right now, guys, we are engaged in the battle of ideas. Leftism has been playing the battle of ideas for quite a long time. They're winning in ideas. And the way you beat ideas, the way we actually work forward out of this, is to see bad ideas and replace them with better ideas. You fight an ideological war with better ideas, right? And so, for instance, if you want to change my mind on something, you can't do it with force. A guy like me of like, stop believing in Jesus. I'm like, you're gonna have to kill me, bro. Come at me. You know, like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna say, you can't kill my idea with force. You can only kill an idea with better ideas. And that's what we're in, guys. We need to fight smarter with our words. And so this is going to come straight to you. This is what I want you to do. For a long time, many of you have been extremely polite and kind and respectful as you're just going to work, being a good neighbor, trying not to ruffle anyone's feathers and say something that offends someone. Political correctness is a weapon of the left designed to put a muzzle over you. You're so afraid. They're basically using our kindness against us, saying, don't ruffle anyone's feathers. Don't say something that would offend someone else. I'm like, guys, speak. Speak wherever you can. Last night, my wife and I went on a date, but we didn't leave before I gave our babysitter an earful on what I thought were the most important stuff on freedom and values and the ideological war raging around us. And then I was in line at an ATM yesterday as well. And there was a guy in front of me, and we struck up a conversation on the same thing. You're going to lose friends. You'll lose family over this who won't speak to you. Some neighbors will absolutely hate you. You are about to be hated by a lot of people. But you have to speak now. Now's the time for courage. If you have a moral system about you, but you bow to the mob that wants to intimidate you and silence you, I would argue that you have a moral system, but because a mob can shut you down and you don't have the courage to face them, you're not really moral. You're fake. You're coward. It's time to speak, guys. Don't play the game and let political correctness silence you. But I'd also want to add a tempering of this. The Bible tells me to speak the truth in love, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to throw down in a war with my own countrymen. I have zero interest in the second civil war, and if you wish for that, you suck, bro. No one should be excited about that idea. You suck, and you haven't really thought it through. So come on back, rein it in. Speaking the truth in love. I desire to proselytize my fellow American to good reason, to freedom loving, to living for higher purpose. In effect, I want more warrior poets, people who are forces for good in the world. And yes, we possess great skill. So if we ever needed that failsafe, if anyone ever came to my door wanting to kill my family, I'm able to stand in the gap and do something about that. And I'm not terrible at it. And I bet some of you aren't either. And that's a good thing, but that is a fail-safe thing. You don't go there now. Engage in the war of ideas. It's all about having better arguments and talking about them everywhere you can. It's true that in a lot of places, social media has shut us down. I'm constantly facing shadow banning. I have for years, watching it in my analytics. It's so obvious to us as we study our analytics on a daily basis that we're being bullied, censored, shadow banned, demonetized. Don't be misled. Great amounts of freedom is just dying, and it seems to be picking up at an alarming rate. And so I need you to be bold and change culture from the ground up. You'd like it to be like, John, it's up to you. Why don't you speak? Why don't you do something? Man, I'm doing my part, but I'm also want grassroots up, and that means you got to get out there and talk to people. Don't be afraid to offend people. If people get offended easy, it's because they're weak and they need to get stronger. That's it. And I'm like, oh, people shriek at that, but that's true. The world is a dangerous place. That's the cost of free speech, is some speech will offend you. Get stronger. That's it, right? Guys, I recognize many will be offended by this. Some will unfollow me. Some people will try to get me shut down. And eventually, they may get us. But I'm going to speak the truth in love, because I actually do care about you, and I even care about the people on the other side of the political divide that wants to cancel me and shout at me. They wish death upon me. But guess what? Speaking the truth in love, I would like to still rescue them with a better and more noble ideology of freedom and real love and affection, and that's what I'm rolling on right now. I suggest you do the same. Warrior Poets, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm on a journey. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm thinking deeply. I'm trying to keep my head calm and cool in the midst of grim times. And I know there's a great amount of us that feel like I do, and you're scared. Take courage. Now's the time for courage, guys. And I'm with you, right? Also, check out our Warrior Poet Society network. This is our kind of our fail-safe in case we get shut down by all these social media companies. We've got our own entertaining shows and our training, and a place where we can continue to put out content. I'll have links down below. We really do need your support. We've got huge Goliaths everywhere around us, and if you don't help us, we're just not going to make it. We're doing well. We're doing fine. In a while, when they tighten the noose, if we haven't made escape plans, we're screwed. Help us. We need you. Help us. That's it. All right, guys. See ya.